Film editing is an art form hidden in plain sight. It is the heart of filmmaking. When you watch a movie, you are not just seeing a story. You are feeling a rhythm. You are experiencing a carefully constructed flow of images and sounds. This craft began over a century ago. Early filmmakers discovered they could join different pieces of film together. This was a revolution. They could create new meanings. They could control time and space. Instead of one long continuous shot, they could show a wide view of a city, then a close-up of a character's face. The story became more powerful and personal. The evolution of editing technology has been remarkable. We moved from physically cutting and gluing strips of celluloid film to digital non-linear editing systems. Imagine using scissors and tape to make a movie. That was the reality for many decades. Every cut was a permanent choice. It required immense foresight and precision. Today with computers, we can experiment endlessly. We can try 100 different versions of a scene without destroying the original footage. This digital freedom has changed everything. It allows for more complex storytelling and a deeper exploration of the material, giving us the ability to find the perfect emotional beat. The editor's first job is to watch everything. This is called viewing the dailies. It is the raw, unedited footage shot each day. An editor might receive hours of material for a scene that will only last 2 minutes on screen. The task is to find the best performances, the best angles, the little moments of magic that were captured by the camera. It is like being a detective, searching for clues within a mountain of evidence. The editor must understand the director's vision deeply. They must see the potential in every shot and begin to imagine how these separate pieces can be assembled into a cohesive and moving narrative. From this chaos of raw footage, a structure begins to emerge. The editor creates what is called an assembly cut. This is the first version of the movie, putting all the scenes in the order of the script. It is often very long and rough, but it is a starting point. It is the skeleton of the film. From here, the real work begins. The editor starts to refine each scene, trimming frames, adjusting the timing, and shaping the rhythm. The goal is to make the technology invisible. The audience should not think about the cuts. They should only feel the story. This is the magic of editing. It is an act of discovery. The most fundamental tool an editor has is the cut. A cut is the simplest transition. It is an instant change from one shot to another. But why do we cut? The most important reason is to follow emotion. I believe a good cut should align with the blink of an eye. We blink when we have a new thought or feeling. A cut in a film should do the same thing. It should feel natural and justified by the story's emotional needs. A cut can also provide new information. It can show a character's reaction. It can reveal something happening across the room. Every single cut must have a purpose. It moves the story forward. Beyond the simple cut, there are other transitions. A dissolve is when one image slowly fades out while another fades in. This can suggest the passage of time, or it can connect two different ideas in a gentle, dreamlike way. A fade to black is like a period at the end of a sentence. It signals a major break in the story, the end of a chapter. In The Godfather, you can see how fades are used to mark significant shifts in Michael Corleone's journey. These tools are used carefully. Overusing them can distract the audience. The best editing uses transitions to serve the story, not to show off the technique. Pacing is another critical element. Pacing is the rhythm of the film. It is the speed at which the story unfolds. An action sequence like the car chase in Bullet uses very fast cuts. Many short shots are put together to create a feeling of speed, danger, and excitement. The fast pacing makes your heart beat faster. In contrast, a dramatic scene might use very long takes with few cuts. This allows the audience to stay with the actors. It lets their performances breathe. The editor must feel this rhythm. They must know when to speed things up and when to slow things down to control the audience's emotional experience. Sound is the editor's other half. A film is 50% picture and 50% sound. The editor doesn't just cut images, they also shape the soundscape. This includes dialogue, sound effects, and music. The placement of a single sound effect can change the meaning of a scene. The moment music begins to play can make an audience feel sad or hopeful. In Apocalypse Now, the sound of the helicopter blades was blended with the sound of a ceiling fan. This created a powerful connection between the war zone and the character's internal state. The relationship between picture and sound is where much of the film's power is created. The relationship between the film editor and the director is one of the most important collaborations in filmmaking. It is a partnership built on trust and a shared understanding of the story. The director is on set, capturing all the pieces of the puzzle. The editor is in the cutting room, figuring out how those pieces fit together. The editor is the director's first audience. They provide a fresh perspective. They can see the footage without the stress and chaos of the film set. This distance is valuable. It allows the editor to see what is truly working in the material. This collaboration is a conversation. The director explains their intention for a scene. The editor then presents their interpretation through the cut. Sometimes, the editor finds something unexpected in the footage. A small glance from an actor or an unplanned moment that perfectly captures the scene's emotion. A good director is open to these discoveries. The film can evolve and become something richer than what was originally planned. It is a dance of ideas. The director leads, but the editor has the freedom to introduce new steps. The final film is a product of this shared creative energy. For example, in many of my collaborations with Francis Ford Coppola, the process was very fluid. We would discuss the feeling of a sequence, the core emotion we wanted to convey. Then, I would spend time alone with the material, experimenting with different combinations of shots and sounds. I would try to find the hidden rhythms. When I had a version ready, we would watch it together. The discussion that followed was crucial. We would talk about what worked and what didn't. This back-and-forth process of cutting, watching, and discussing is how the film finds its final shape. Ultimately, the editor's role is to protect the story. They must serve the director's vision, but they must also be an advocate for the audience. They have to ensure the story is clear, the emotions are true, and the pacing feels right. This sometimes means challenging the director's ideas or suggesting a different path. A great director-editor team is one where both individuals are dedicated to making the best possible film. It is a partnership where ego is set aside for the good of the narrative. The result is a film that feels unified and whole, as if it were created by a single mind. Today's editors face a unique set of challenges. One of the biggest is the sheer volume of footage. With digital cameras, it is easy to shoot for hours and hours. This means the editor has an overwhelming amount of material to go through. It can be difficult to find the best moments in a sea of options. This is very different from the days of film, when every foot of celluloid was precious. The challenge is to remain focused and not get lost in the endless possibilities. The editor must develop a strong instinct for what is essential to the story and what can be discarded. Another challenge is the pressure of time. Film schedules are often very tight. Editors are expected to work quickly, delivering different versions of the film for producers and test audiences. They often work long hours under intense pressure to meet deadlines. At the same time, they are dealing with complex visual effects, sound design, and color grading. The editor's room has become a central hub where all these different elements of post-production come together. The editor must be a master organizer and a calm presence in the middle of a creative storm, managing both the art and the complex technology. The future of film editing will continue to be shaped by technology. Artificial intelligence is beginning to play a role. AI tools can help with simple tasks like organizing footage or finding all the shots that contain a certain actor. This could free up editors to focus more on the creative aspects of their job. However, I do not believe a machine will ever be able to replace the human editor. Editing is about emotion, intuition, and understanding the subtleties of human behavior. These are things that come from life experience, not from algorithms. The technology is a tool, but the heart of the craft remains human. In the end, the core of film editing will not change. It will always be about telling a story. It will always be about creating a connection with the audience. The tools will get better and the processes will become more efficient, but the fundamental questions will remain the same. Why this shot? Why now? What does the audience feel at this moment? As long as we tell stories with moving images, there will be a need for the invisible art of the editor. The person who sits in a dark room, finds the rhythm, shapes the emotion, and brings the film to life, one frame at a time.